Hi, hello, beautifuls. I'm really happy to be here with you today, and I want to send everybody a nice big virtual hug and some encouragement and love. I just want to let you know that you are okay exactly where you're at in whatever moment you're experiencing right now. I want to remind you that you are source energy in physical form, that you have all the wisdom of all life experiences within you, within your soul, within your body, within your essence. You're recognizing this fact. It's coming clearer for more of you. It's available for all of us. And today was a day that I had a couple of like earth things planned. I want to get some programs ready, some classes I'm going to be doing. I wanted to get those ready and have those up and running. And I had a couple of just things around my house that I need to get done. And normally I see clients on Friday, and for some reason this day was clear. It was booked out. It was booked out like I was not available. So it's interesting how we set things up for us and how spirit works with us that when we need the time, we have the time. When I woke up, I was just a little out of sorts. And out of sorts in the way that I recognize when I'm working in a bigger field than just my own personal field. And what I do many times is I go into the collective field, the collective consciousness. I'm either working with others and helping transform energy. Sometimes it's holding space and observing what's going on and holding, like literally holding up the space of love and compassion so that things can transform. But many times I'm actively involved in the transformation on an energetic level. And that's what I was doing last couple days. And last night I took um, like a lot of transforming was done. A lot of transforming. Um, and what that means is like on the earth plane, we're going through rapid changes. Rapid changes. Some of you may be feeling it. Some of you may not be aware of any changes that are going on, but the institutional changes, the organizational changes, like literally the foundation of this planet, the consciousness of this planet is blowing up. It's like the consciousness that no longer serves humanity is just being fractured. It looks like an explosion. It looks like, like if you were to put a stick of dynamite in there, it's just blowing up. And this last 3 days, say the last 22nd, was an accumulation of breaking up a density. So now there's this energy field where it needs to be supported and loved, but we're replacing it now with love, compassion, acceptance, forgiveness, um, healing. It's just a lot of healing taking place. So I'm in that field. So when I get into that field, and I'm happy to be there, like this is a big part of the work that I'm doing, and the reason that I'm here in physical form, besides enjoying my lovely life and my family and all the other things I get to do. But when I get into that field, I've learned to recognize that this is a pause day for me. And then whatever I've planned, I need to put aside because I feel it, and perhaps you'll feel it in your body. Like I feel it from here to here. It's not overwhelming for me. It used to get very overwhelming, and it would be just a lot of tears and very hard to kind of. Well, some days were hard to function, but it just was a lot of tears. Now it's it's this. It is a feeling of. Hmm, and I don't want my experience to be your experience. I just want to explain what my experience is, and maybe it'll resonate with you in some way. But it's grief. It's grief and doubt. Doubt that anything will ever change. Although I can hear it changing. I can hear the celebration in place, especially for what was dissolved this week. And then grief and doubt. And what I've been hearing all week is like this train rumbling. It's been just in almost like what it feels like? It feels like as I'm looking back at it, it was like the rumbling of the earth. Like just perhaps if a tectonic shift was going to happen, how it would sound if I had machinery that would help me. But I've been hearing this intense rumbling, and I've sometimes just on a need to know basis that I get information, but I've been very aware of it and kind of just looking at it from the side eye. And now I'm understanding today that this was actually a breakthrough. in some way we had a big breakthrough this week. And so what I wanted to talk to you about is when you have a pause day, is how do you deal with it yourself, right? Because part of me just wanted to sit in a chair and not like do anything. And that may be your best thing, to just take a day off. What I did is I got on my bike and I rode down by the river. I did water activation in the river. I blessed the water, helped raise the consciousness of the water, remove the fear. There's another video that talks about that you can look at. But I just took a lot of time to just hear nature. I took time to be by myself this morning. I kind of took off everything that was on my to-do list, even though it's really important. It's really important, the things I want to get done. But being in this space and holding space and participating in the transformation is super important. Like, that's more important. And I've recognized that. And what else? The other things I've been drinking a lot of water. I've been holding a lot of heart space. So what I do is I just take a deep breath and do it for yourself, because I want you to know, like I said in the very beginning, you are source energy in physical form. So you have all the abilities you need within you. You're starting to remember, right? It's within you to find the space of, I want to say clear, but to remove, to transform that which doesn't no longer serve you. And of course, I always get help when I need it, right? But for you, maybe you just start with, and for me, I just start with, I'm holding space, deep breath, maybe 4 or 5 seconds. Just allow that. Sometimes it was very intentional, like that, or I just really became aware of my breathing today. Okay. A little bit of that. More water. Took time by myself. I asked myself, what do I need to know about the experience? Is this anything of mine that I need to transform and clear and understand about my personal experience? Today, the answer I got was no. Sometimes I get yes, and when it is, I dive into it. But as we go along this awakening process, this ascension process of becoming a higher, expanded version of ourselves, we tap into the multidimensionality where it is a greater awareness of all. And that includes a greater awareness of the love and joy, and the greater awareness of what's no longer serving you or serving the planet. So in some circles, there's a misperception that being an awakened light worker or a star seed or just a nice, lovely person, right? Whatever, the titles don't really matter. But becoming more of our natural state of being, which is an energetic field in physical form that contains love, so much love. Like, it's so much love for 1,000 lifetimes, so much wisdom for 1,000 lifetimes that we've transformed into this teeny little body, into a short time frame, right? We're becoming more aware. We're just becoming more aware. And excuse me, I just lost my train of thought. It'll come back to me. See, and that's the type of day this is. It's just like that. Things come in, things go out. Beginning of the day, I wanted to talk. I wanted to share something. Don't even remember what it was now. And that's okay, because we're actually in a space where our spirit, our soul is becoming the driving force, the leader of our life. The mind is not in the driver's seat. It's not about our intelligence and our capabilities. It's not that. It's just that the monkey mind, the mind that tells us right, the mind that tells us how to navigate, that many times miscommunicates with us, that doesn't understand, that has judgments and I want to say fracture society. That's not how we're leading anymore. So when you have moments where you just forget what you're talking about, just like I did, that's okay. Prime example, it's just okay. But I just want to remind you, and I guess it's a reminder for me, that when you need these days to just reacclimate, recalibrate, you take them. Oh, I know what my thought was. So there is a perhaps a perception that the more spiritual you are, the easier life gets. I do believe that. I do believe the more you're connected, the more you understand yourself, the more you understand the world around you, life does actually get easier. But you have to also recognize that within that getting to the easier part, there are things you need to look at within yourselves, people around you, and the world around you. I call it facing the ugly. For myself, I'd look at like, where was I not taking responsibility? Where was I blaming somebody else? Where was I going into old patterns? Where was I not showing up my best self? Right? Couldn't ignore it. I couldn't ignore it where I was unkind. I couldn't ignore it when I was dismissive, or whatever the case may be. And I have to acknowledge that there's a lot of that going on in the world. It's not all rainbows and unicorns. There are rainbows and unicorns. There's lots of lovely, and we're getting more of the lovely. But you have to take the time to work through whatever it is you need to work through. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's painful. Kind of depends where you are in the process. It doesn't need to be long, drawn out, painful. In fact, that's even a program and a belief that we have that's kind of been injected into humanity that growth is painful. Growth isn't painful. Growth can be exhilarating and exciting. But for many of us, it brings up some pain. So, and perhaps, maybe this video is more for me than it is for you. But I'd like to think it's for both of us, for all of us, that it is okay, it is necessary to change your plans when guided, that to use your intuitive abilities to just allow whatever needs to be to transcend and transform. And in the quiet is where the inspiration comes. And the inspiration for you may be what you're eating, writing, walking, journaling, calling a friend, sitting quietly, doing jumping jacks, right? There's no like inspiration book that tells you exactly how to do it because you're the unique individual doing it in your own way. But give yourself the time, the space. Give yourself permission to allow whatever's transforming within you to transpire. And I'm looking who's reading, and many of you, like me, go into the collective field of consciousness. In fact, all of us go into the collective field of consciousness. If we didn't, we wouldn't have a collective field of consciousness. But we get into the collective field of consciousness, and mostly we are in it unaware. So the invitation is for you to become more aware of what you're consciously experiencing and become more aware of what you're, kind of like what pool you're sitting in. And right now, it's a big pool. It's a big collective field of not understanding. Just, I don't understand. I don't understand how the world can be in such a place. I don't understand how there's so many different rules and regulations and systems and governments and, well, just so many different opinions, right? It is understanding the value of someone's wisdom, but understanding and recognizing what is wisdom and what is just mind chatter and what is more manipulation control. And I've been looking a lot at the field of manipulation control. And a part of me actually doesn't even want to talk about it because I want people to know that it's not all doom and gloom. And I want people to know that you are a very powerful being. You have all the courage and bravery, intelligence, wisdom, ability to transform your life experience. You've done it many, many times. You may feel stuck now. You may feel, and I even hesitate saying you may feel stuck because for many of you, you don't feel stuck. You know exactly what you're doing. Life's going great. But when I do a video, I do kind of read, I do a, like I just kind of check the field. I check who's watching, who's listening, and what's most valuable to be heard at this time or what's shared. Oh, another thing that I did today for myself is, I water, the breathing. I did some toning. And for you, that's just open your mouth and whatever sound needs to come out, let it come out. It recalibrates you. It realigns the nervous system. It realigns the physical body that is not aligned with the highest consciousness. And this can happen multiple times during the day for you. Some people have singing bowls or there's a great thing you can do if you don't feel comfortable toning for yourself, but I encourage you to tone for yourself. Um, a lot of people like to listen to Tibetan singing bowls on YouTube. Like bring in whatever resources work for you, and then ask your higher self to bring those resources to your awareness. And then when you need physical help, please do that for yourself. Whether it's an intuitive session, some energy work, some body work, having lunch with a friend, get a massage from a partner, whatever it may be, honor yourself. Okay. Again, I just want to thank you for being with me, for sharing me, and I do see you. I do love you. I absolutely believe in you. But more importantly, I want you to see yourself, to believe in yourself, to love yourself, and to understand yourself. And understand really how special and needed you are in this moment. And I will be back. Thank you.